if I cut it here, thank you all very much for watching. If not, let's build a third ship. Right, we need to, hold on, exit. First of all, contracts. Got to remember to check this contract screen on a more regular basis. Because this time around I could do a weather survey on the way up and get myself a little extra money. What's that? Contract complete. Okay, and we've gotten our money. We've got our prestige. Let's head to the contracts place. Test an RCS fuel tank in a suborbital trajectory. Intriguing. Okay, we've got a modular girder. All right, manned. No, we're not doing manned altitude. Requested to achieve a stable orbit around Kerbal. That is the one that, yeah. Now, can I test? Okay, so the part has a test run option, run test option in the parts context menu when all conditions are met. So suborbital trajectory altitude 74,000 to 76,500. Oh, that's a very interesting window. And test modular girder, same deal. But the money these are worth, this is worth a lot. Testing this RCS tank is pretty significant. Well, there's no reason not to have this orbit contract because it's not a failure oriented. So let's conduct a weather survey on our way up. And let's do the low risk test on the way up. We'll see how that goes. We're gonna load ourselves down with contracts this time around. Sorry about the abrupt cut there. I had a crash, which is unexpected. So I think we're going to build this next one with the liquid fuel engines. I just hope that they can survive sitting on the launch pad. Obviously, we're going to have to watch our weight. So if I use a liquid fuel engine for the upper stage. Now, can these snap onto the outside? No, they can't. This thing is basically going to be done. So we need something that's going to get to space more effectively. Now these have a lot more thrust, 215 thrust versus this thing's 75, so it should go a lot further. These also only have 75 thrust. But how much weight can this thing actually handle? Like, could I build just a pure liquid fuel launch system here? That's almost twice the mass of the previous ship. I'm not confident that's going to actually make it. So 6 of those. We're a little heavier now, so we're going to have to be careful because I don't know that we have more thrust necessarily overall. So we need to pick and choose what we need to put on here. That's our test item. We desperately need another tick of science. So let's get the communicatron on here. We're going to need enough batteries to transmit a gravioli scan back, which means 6 batteries, I think. Because we also wanted to do a weather survey on this flight, which is going to be part of the touch and go. So if we do one right there, oh, my kingdom for one right there and one right there. That should be reasonably well balanced. Oh, and flight controls. Let's save a bit of mass. We'll just do 3 of these instead of 6. Because 6 should not be necessary to keep this thing under strict control. You know, I could actually do 8 of these boosters. I could do... Oh, I don't know. Are they going to be strong enough? because that's actually quite a bit more mass that they're having to initially accelerate. Tough call. Okay. Tempted to do a test flight here. Speaking of which, the reversion rules are I can do test flights, and I can, but once I've committed to a mission as being an official mission, I have to fly it and accept the consequences. So, you know, but if I say it's a test flight, I have to revert, even if it works flawlessly. So that makes it fair, because I can't just take a test, so a quote-unquote test flight, and suddenly say, oh, I guess this is working okay. So, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one test flight test of this off screen and see. It'll just be a test launch off screen. I'm going to see. Nah, you guys should come along for the ride. Let's see. Just give me a second to adjust the staging and everything. That's always boring, and I'll be right back. Okay. The part testing has a fairly significant a margin of error, so it makes sense not to use a new design to do the parts test. So we're going to try this out and hope that the presence of a liquid fuel engine will give us that fine control that we need to reach a higher orbit. But there's only one way to find out. I believe did I do all of them? 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we did. Okay, so we're going to grab a weather scan, because we'll get that regardless. Unless this thing fails miserably, we will be able to get a weather scan on the way up, which will just leave us with a needing to get a gravioli scan, hopefully for science, but at least we'll have... All right, launching in 3, 2, 1. Well, that answers one really important question. 2 of those is just barely enough to lift one of these things off the ground, but that's actually okay. Might be okay. Although the loss of control I'm sensing here is not making me happy. You watch, this thing won't even make it into low space. It's going to be stuck. Oh my god, we're losing control already. What the heck? This thing was balanced just about right on the nose. Okay, so it's going to take... Well, that's expensive. This wasn't a test flight, so... Alright. Well, and this thing's going to... Come on, can we at least get it to the ground? Come on... Land, not too hard, not too hard. We're gonna... Oh my gosh. Yeah. I wish there was a recover all debris button. That would be really nice. Let's go to the tracking station and see if we can get any of the parts back. Alright, so reworking time. Makes me really glad I didn't have that test part on there. So three trilateral symmetry. Hopefully that will keep the thing stable. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's hope for the best. Hopefully with 3 engines firing, this thing will stay stable enough. Looking okay, I guess. We're just going to have to keep nudging it back towards the center, obviously. It seems to really want to fall over. Now let's just hope that this liquid fuel engine of ours has got enough oomph to get us the rest of the way up. There goes number 2. The idea is that with a liquid fuel engine, I'll be able to throttle down as we go up and get a more efficient boost out of the atmosphere. Or into the upper atmosphere, I should say. And hopefully into orbit. Well, suborbital. If this doesn't work, I might have to try a trio of liquid fuel boosters. Okay, that has enough guts to do it. Just keep it steady. All right, so we're doing it. So it's working the way I had hoped. I'm just going to keep throttling down to hopefully get more oomph from our engine here. So if we, it's got a lot of thrust, a lot more thrust than that booster rocket we were using as our old center stage. And if I can stretch its fuel out over a longer period of time, which is what liquid fuel engines are really good for, a suborbital flight should be well within the capability of this ship. I'll just keep slowing her down. We're only at, wow, we're only at 20, we're almost at 2/3 throttle right now. And what's going to happen is shortly we're going to start tumbling. So once we have an apoapsis, we can start accelerating a lot more because we're going to lose our ability to control this ship shortly. Uh-oh. Come on. Yep, very soon we're going to lose that ability to keep it stable and vertical. Whoa, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Oh boy. That was almost a disaster, I think. Alright, I think we're coming up. Oh! Transmit the barometer data and transmit our temperature data. Alright, we are in a suborbital flight, which means we're going to be able to get a gravity. So that should have taken care of our weather scan on the way up. Perfect. So this is going to be a good suborbital flight ship. The only thing we're short on right now is power. And we'll see what we can do about... see how many of these science transmissions we can get off with this particular ship. All right, we are in orbit. Let's transmit the shores. Hey, that's a hard one to hit. All right, we'll see how much of this data we're actually going to be able to send home, because we're losing electric charge fast. But we can actually squeeze more batteries onto this one. Let's just hope we get enough science to round out this another tech. The next tier of the tech tree would be nice to get. All right, we're not going to transmit all of it, which sucks, but we're going to get 60% of a gravioli scan. Okay, well that sucks, but we cannot do a temperature scan on the next flight. No sense in doing that every time we go into orbit. All right, I will finish this thing's flight off and meet you back at ground control. Or when this thing is burning up. It's going to burn. I'm almost certain of it. So, yeah, here we go. Actually, that was a very high flight, to be honest. And probably could have gotten 2 biomes out of that if we'd had enough power on it. Boy, those clouds are a little disconcerting. Yep. Whoa! Explosion. Well, that answers that question. We ain't getting back to the ground with that ship. All right. Let me see. How do I get back to the ground? Come on. Let me out of here. All right. Space Center. I guess we just go to the Space Center. Okay, let's check our science and see how lucky we got on that. 28.5. It's not going to be enough to get next tech, is it? 45. Not even close. Okay, so we're going to have to rejigger that. Oh, wait, hold on. But I wanted to get survivability. We're not going after these. We're going after this. And this means we get to do a low-altitude flight with a Kerbal. That's going to be fun. Okay. Well, I suspect I've got a full episode here now. So thank you all very much for watching. And next episode, we're going to send a Kerbal out to become a test pilot. Bye for now. Okay, never mind. We've got enough time for one more mission. So we're going to go brand new ship, and we are going to get a Kerbal ready in a surplus cockpit with a parachute on the hood, a liquid engine at the base, and go in separate stages. And that should suffice. Because hopefully, I won't even need to transmit data. Because hopefully, oh, nope, not quite. Control. So this thing is rated to 2.25 atmospheres. So basically, I think we have to keep it in the lowest atmospheric level. So this shall be called what do we want to call this thing? Madness Mark 1. Who's going to be the lucky pilot? Jebediah Kerman, of course. It's always Jeb in the first flight, isn't it? So, I will have cut a tiny bit of vocals, but let's send a Kerbal on a test flight and get some data from him. Okay, ready, Jeb? Launching in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's what I suspected. Is we're flying to. We have to get up to a certain elevation before it will let us get a scan from this guy. So let's find out how low we have to go. Or how high we have to go, I guess. That actually makes a lot of sense. It's a neat change that was made recently to Better Than Starting Manned. The whole business of having a minimum elevation where we can actually do these reports and all that jazz. Okay. So we're getting, yeah, it's still too low for a crew report. We're trying not to go too high, because too high is almost as bad as too low. We need to stay in the light blue, which means we need to not, we need to just barely, come on, it's probably around 12,500. Still too low. Let's see. Come on, Jebediah Kerman. Don't die on me now, man. Flying too low. Flying too low. Come on, get enough elevation. We're almost there. Come on, just a little higher. Just a little higher. I think it's 12,500. Or something. I just hope. Well, we're going to go as high as this thing's going to let us go now. I may have tipped just a bit too soon. Yes, I did. All right. Dang. Well, so much for our first manned mission. Going to cover a lot. Oh, God. We're going to hit the... Oh, shoot. I tipped in the wrong direction, didn't I? We are heading towards those mountains. Well, this could be bad. This could be very bad. Too conservative. I don't know that there's a way to tell what the exterior pressure is. But we should be slowed down. As soon as we get below 200, we should be okay to deploy the parachute, I hope. Okay, here we go. Drag chute is on. Come on. Slow it down. That snap we're going to get at the final deceleration is going to be painful. I just hope it doesn't rip. Well, I guess it could rip the bottom off the ship, and that would be okay. Well, that was not as helpful as I was hoping. That was a bad flight on my part, but this ship can get the data we need to get exactly as designed. Oh, there we go. We're going to recover this whole ship intact, which means if we recover most of our costs, if not all, because I think Flower Child changed the way ship recovery mechanics work. I'll have to double check the patch notes. But hopefully we can get this thing back to the ground intact. All's well with the world. We're about to hit the ground. Ooh, most of the ship. Oh, okay. Recover most of the vessel. And then we're just going to fly the fool thing again. Let's see. These are the expensive flights. See, the science earned 0. We have 12 science. See, we just got 18,000 funds, or 1,189 from recovered parts. Yeah, and no reputation, but that's okay. All right. The Manned Madness Mark 1. No changes, just changing the way we fly it. That's all. I don't know what, I wish I knew what the upper limit is. I think it's somewhere between 12,000, I think it's somewhere around, I don't know, 15,000 maybe? Alrighty, here we go again. Hopefully this time I can actually not botch my flight. I need to be a little less conservative, a little bit more gutsy. And we're gonna hope, oh, right, engine overheating. We don't need to go that fast anyways. There we go. Much better. Okay. So, the land flight was survivable. I have no idea if an ocean landing is actually a survivable event or not. This early in the game. I know it is later, but I don't know if this capsule is... This thing's like a bloody piece of tissue paper. So, I think we will go with... okay, let's not tip too much. That's what got us in trouble last time. Okay, slow down. Slow her down. Okay. Just keep her good. Alright, only 1,000 meters to go. Okay, there's our crew report. Keep the data. We got to bring him back alive. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Come on. Start falling, start falling, start falling. I don't know what the outside pressure is, but we got to hope for the best for the return. Okay, we going down now? Yes, we are. Okay. Oh, we didn't hit the low pressure, the pressure danger point, which is good. Which means we can get this Kerbal back to the ground alive. I hope. Oh, I don't know what the hazard is of killing the Kerbal, to be honest. What will it cost? I'd rather not find out. Hence the trying to keep him alive business. Boy, if I could tip this thing over and actually decelerate, that would be really nice, but it's too top heavy. Okay. Under 200 is and 5,000 meters is when we can deploy this parachute. Perfect. Here goes our parachute. Or our drag chute right now is all it is. Okay. Get to the ground alive. I am... You know, that's... The manned missions actually are really... make me nervous. Really, really, really nervous. Okay, please don't rip off. Okay, good stuff. It's interesting, we're still going 14 meters per second. This parachute has not got as much guts to slow things down as the later chutes. But that's okay. Yeah, we're going as just about as slow as we're going to get. And here comes our landing. 3, 2, 1. Oh! Well, that could have been a lot worse. Lost the engine, but not the fuel tanks or the fins, or most importantly, the Kerbal. See how much science we got from that. 27. Okay, so Gravioli is going to be absolutely critical for our next tier of science, which means designing a ship that can actually acquire all of that. Okay, that's all right. Done. Okay. So yeah, just confirm science this tier costs 45. That's quite a jump. 16 to 45 is a big jump. Well, let's look at our wish list. LVT 40 is not really super helpful. Launch stabilizers might be helpful. RCS might be helpful. That's certainly going to be absolutely mandatory for getting into orbit for that orbital achievement. The next manned tier, pressurized cockpit, would let us get up higher, and ooh, mystery goo. We could do, so we'd have the capability of doing mystery goo, but obviously none of that is available now. Oh man, well, that's episode 3 for you guys. I know some of these have been a little shorter. Oh, right, weather survey. That's from a long time ago. Thank you all very much for watching. I will see you for real this time in the next episode. Bye for now.